Cheers, I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? You know who I am. I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. So I did a video just a few minutes ago, specifically for the Banter Next Evolution Barrel-Aged Barley Wine. But I still got a little bit in the can left, so I thought I'd finish that with you. But I wanted to pair it with a bourbon. Decided to go with the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. It's a 7-year-old bottled and bond. I've had this conversation with a lot of bourbon drinkers, and some agree, some don't. I don't know that age matters as much in bourbon as it does, say, Scotch or Irish whiskey. There are many bourbons that will really hit their maturity, at 7, 8, 10 years old, whereas Scotch and Irish, typically the older the better, but I don't know that it works the same with bourbon. Sometimes a bourbon will hit its peak a little bit early. I don't feel like it needs to be aged quite as long, and a lot of that depends on the quality of the liquor going in the barrel and the quality of the barrel. Trying to fix something real quick. Bear with me. I'm not trying to ignore you. I just want to make sure that's fixed. It is. Okay. Anyways, let's see if I can set that down without messing something up. Alrighty, I'm back again. So I'm back, man. So I am Tom the Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperer for the purpose of this video. I'm going to show you this can here. Like I said, I drank about 5 ounces, so I've got still the better part of the can left here. The Next Evolution Barrel-Aged Barley Wine. I'll pour it into a snifter here. I wanted to do the video. I wanted to use a Banter glass, but I've only got a pint glass or this taster. But I did want to drink the rest of it out of a good snifter. Oh, look how beautiful that poured too. My goodness. I'm going to let that sit because I really want that to warm up a little bit. I felt like I drank it a tad cold. So while I do that, I am going to pour just a little bit of this bourbon. It is a big beer, so I'm not going to drink a lot of bourbon here. I'm just going to pour a nice, this is 1.25 ounce glass. So we're going to pour just that much to pair with it, because I do love a beer and whiskey pairing. I feel like if you've got the right match, they complement each other. Oh, mercy. Later this evening, I am planning on doing a cocktail show. And do 2, possibly 3, but a holiday-inspired cocktails, let's just say. Kind of a variation on a theme. I've got 2. I'm going to do a version of a Manhattan and a version of an old fashioned. Just changing a few things around. Oh man, nose on this is very nice. Do get a lot of oak on the nose. I do feel that char in a big way. Get a little dark caramel, almost a burnt sugar caramel, very dark. This Kentucky bourbon pays tribute to the earliest days of the distilleries. I've gotten new glasses since I bought this, so when I tried to do a video the first time, I could not read the lettering on there. I can now. I'm glad I got some glasses. I knew my prescription was getting bad, but the eye doctor said it's gotten a lot worse. So anyway, this Kentucky bourbon pays tribute to the earliest days of distillery's history, when in 1939 released Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, the namesake brand quickly became the number one selling bourbon whiskey in the state of Kentucky. Still today, the craftsmanship poured into this bottle by the same founding family meets exacting standards first set forth by the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897. This historic offering reflects on the company's founders' firm belief it takes patience and perseverance to make something of great quality. There we go. Show you that bottle there as I put it off to the side again. And let's pick up this beer. I didn't leave it out. I didn't have it in the fridge. I had it in the garage, but my garage is rather cold at the moment. So it was a little bit colder than I wanted it to be when I did the first video. I did let it sit out for a few minutes, though. But those barrel notes, I feel like sometimes I don't mind trying it colder because I like to see how it changes. For me, anyway, I feel like the notes are sharper when the beer is cold, right? Those they don't necessarily meld together, but you really feel them just in a different way. I feel like the notes are a little bit sharper when it's cold. As it warms up, they kind of all fall together. Man, it is just beyond delicious. I gotta tell you, I had a little bit at the brewery the other day, and I remember liking it, but I felt like it was a little sweet. But now that I'm having it here, I do not think so. When it's just letting it warm up a little bit, pouring it into proper glass, I think might have something to do with it as well. But I'm not feeling it quite as sweet as I did the other day. I got to tell you though, I'm a fan of barrel notes. I love everything chucked in the barrel. I hate everything about this time of year except the beer, right? I hate the cold. I hate everything. But I love the beer styles that come out this time of year, and I love everything chucked in a barrel. So if you're a fan of big barrel notes, you're going to love this one because you really feel that toast and white oak in a great big way. It just comes together so beautifully. Oh, this beer is absolutely gorgeous. I did want to get my dinner cooking though before I start. Before I started, gonna do some beef tips. Probably serve them over noodles. Kind of a poor man's version. I should have had a nice quality prime chuck roast. I just cubed some of it up. So good sized chuck roast, but I didn't want to use all of it for this because it's just the wife and I. So I'm trying to learn to cook in smaller batches, which is very hard for me. So I had some carrots that we picked up from Trader Joe's a few weeks back. Had a regular carrot and a purple carrot and some onion chopped up. I had one yellow bell, so I chopped it up. So got that in there. So got some nice veg working, little flavor to the stock, along with the beef. Oh. This whiskey is really delicious. I don't buy a lot of the names that everybody knows a lot. In fact, this year I haven't bought very many at all. I've been trying to buy as small as humanly possible. But every once in a while, a whiskey will come out that I'll just have to go get. I mean, I don't keep Buffalo Trace on hand. I don't keep Eagle Rare on hand. Not that I mean, they're not bad whiskeys. I just don't know why they become must-haves. I don't feel like they're that good where you have to have it in your on your bar or whatever. I mean, they're okay. Buffalo Trace is a damn fine $25 bourbon, but if you're paying more than that, you're an idiot. you know, about the same with Eagle Rare. It's a good $35 bourbon, but wouldn't pay more than that because there's other products on that shelf for that price point that are as good, if not better. So I do try to buy as local and small as possible. But like I said, every once in a while something will come out. When this was released, I didn't buy it right away. I only bought it because it happened to be at a very good price at a liquor store we were passing through, headed back home in Kansas City area, and they had a very nice price on it, so I picked it up. I went to pay for it, and he said, that was the price was just the member's price, not the price for. So he signed me up to be a member right there on the spot, you even though we were just passing through, it didn't cost anything. So I got the member price. So I think he did it probably because I was buying a lot of other stuff. Right, a pretty full cart going on there. So "Here, I'm going to do this so you get this price." Alrighty. It was nice liquor store. So I usually go to Lucas Liquors when we're in the Kansas City area. But we're in another part of Kansas City. It was called Gomer's. So wife liked the name, so we stopped. I got to tell you though, they had some good prices there. A lot of the prices. I was at a Lucas Liquors about 3 weeks before, or 4 weeks before that. A lot of the prices were less than Lucas, and they had there were some products I know was at Lucas they didn't have there, but they had products there that I know Lucas didn't have. It was a little smaller store, but it was arranged quite efficiently where they had a lot of products in a small space. I mean, for a liquor store, it was a pretty good sized store, but compared to the Lucas Liquors, it was quite a bit smaller. If you've ever been to Lucas Liquors in Kansas City, you know what I'm talking about. It's a huge store. It's like a supermarket sized liquor store. All right, now that I've let this warm up a little bit more, it's got a beautiful color too, does it not? Oh, that's just a gorgeous looking barley wine. I am a fan of the style. I always have been. But again, like I said earlier, I do prefer a barley wine that is barrel aged. It doesn't necessarily have to be whiskey barrel, just a barrel, because those barrel notes really help balance the sweetness of a barley wine because they are by nature sweet. I've become rather sensitive to sweet in my old age because there's a lot of things that I feel a sweetness that others don't. So if you're watching me now, I hope some of you tune back in later this evening at 7 o'clock for a holiday cocktail show. Probably the first of at least one more, if not a couple more, as we go. Because like to get creative with cocktails as we get into the holidays. And lately, I picked up several different bitters. Just right here, looking at me on the where I've got things set up here. I've got rhubarb. I've got cranberry. Um, Cardamom, toasted almond. Those are the ones I've picked up recently. Plum, black walnut, and then not on the table, I've got your traditional Angostura. I've got some orange bitters. They've become a little bit of an obsession, I must admit. When I see something different I haven't seen, or if I see a friend using a specific, I also have cherry bitters that are on this table. Uh, Man, this whiskey is it's 100 proof, man, bottled and bond. It just drinks so easy. It's a little sweet initially. You might find some dark fruit around the middle. Oddly enough, I say that, but as I said, I feel like I'm picking up some stone fruit in there, almost like some like an overripe apricot note. But you might pick up raisin, dark cherry. It's really between you and your palate because you're not going to taste things you don't know. That beer is beyond delicious. I got to tell you, man. Wow. if any of you are ever in my neck of the woods, you got to try this one from Banter. It's one of those small breweries, a little neighborhood brewery, if you will, almost a throwback to pre-prohibition days. But they're doing some of the best beer around. And this stuff is just gorgeous. It's one of the best barley wines I've ever had, and I've had quite a few. But sometimes it's hard to tell, right, with just a little amount. Even a beer as big as this, sometimes that taster size isn't quite enough. Now I'm having 16 ounces, which is a lot of a beer like this, admittedly. Well, I had 5 ounces earlier for this particular video, but about 11 left, I guess. Fit nicely in this glass, though, man. But sometimes you need a larger amount to really decipher the flavors and the complexity, especially of a beer like this. A barley wine of this magnitude is going to be rather complex. Which is why I only poured a little bit of whiskey. Didn't want to do a large pour, just enough to bounce one off the other. Thought about getting out today, but it's gloomy. I really don't want to put clothes on. It was a nice day. Even if it was cold, but the sky was blue, I probably would have got out. But when I look at the sky and it looks like that, I don't want to go anywhere, man. I don't want to get clothes on because that's just uncomfortable. I like seeing friends, but the fact that I have to, get dressed to do it really annoys me. I have a claustrophobic body. It likes to be naked. Anyway, that was more than we needed to know, Tom. I know. I can't help it. I'm a classic oversharer. I have no filter. Never had. I made a Facebook post, quite a while back now, but something about, whatever filter I had is broken. And my sister commented that I never had one. You didn't have one to brag. Think they love me, but it was always one of those things. I was always the wild card, right? We don't know what Tom's going to do or say. Anytime I had to meet anybody, okay, this is my brother. This is the one I told you about. Okay. Anyway, I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and but let's just say it hasn't improved over the years. I've had some folks tell me I've learned over the years. It's not that I haven't learned over the years not to say anything. It's just that I've already said it before I realized I shouldn't have said it. It's already out, man. I have no control over what I say. It's already there, man. Sometimes I think it's just up here, but it just slips out. I will tell you though, this beer, the longer I have let it sit, really, it just it has become more rich and more decadent. Those flavors have really come together. My first initial impression of this when I had it at the brewery was it was very sweet, but now that I've been able to really drink a larger amount of it, I'm going to take that back. It isn't. It isn't any more sweet than most barley wines out there. What I really love though is those barrel notes that you really feel in the finish. That will just kind of dry up any residual sweetness that you have. It is big, it's bold, it's complex. It is just nothing short of delicious. Oh man. I felt that one. Whew. I felt that one coming, man. Anyways, I digress. I will stay by my earlier thoughts, though. I do feel like I get a lot of molasses early on. It's not a beer that we typically get fruit notes, but I swear I'm picking up some in there. Just a hint of raisin and some very dark candied cherry note. And again, I think it's just how I'm interpreting that malt, but because this isn't a beer that we would typically get a lot of fruit from. But wow, again, it's just big, it's bold, it's complex, and absolutely delicious. So, anyways, I am Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor, wisdom, and all around good guy. So